The S is for safety.
No!
The S is for safety.
The S is obviously for Satan.
Hey guys, so we got a bare bones crew today because the entire marketing department is down in LA for Hollow Flux right now, which is Halloween, Flux movement, combined, big party down there. This video will be out before Hollow Flux happens, so if you guys are down in the LA area, be sure to check that out. It's going to be a wild one. Trill, what are we doing right now? We're here for the Unleashed live launch event from Future Motion. No one has any idea what's gonna happen, but there was a leak yesterday where they accidentally put a Google ad out for a ONEWHEEL GT-S Series. So we're kind of speculating what that's gonna be all about. They're saying it's potentially higher voltage, made for racing and off-road. Ultimate voltage, the ultimate voltage. So yeah, we're kind of speculating on some stuff. They're gonna have to do either a new controller or a new controller plug because their current plug can't handle the additional power.
Well, you know, this would be a great win for Tony because he already did a teardown of the GT and he's an electronics guy. And his theory was the motor plug is the limiting factor. Their controller can actually put out a lot more current.
Sure.
So that's why I'm thinking the easiest thing for them is we'll just upgrade the plug, update the firmware, and poof, we got 30, 50% more torque out of the same controller. It's a very low cost option.
That's definitely an easy way to do it.
Now the motor's gonna overheat. So all they have to do is browse through some of the aftermarket sites, check out our cooling solutions that have been on the market for a year or two now.
Yeah.
And just implement those.
And there is a rumor going around that a few months back, there were people testing out some new axle blocks.
Do they stick with the
6.5?
6.5
Yep.
and not admit their mistake?
6.75.
Or do they just acquiesce and go back to 6 and just say, this is what will always work? Or do they go all the way to 5.5 and say, fuck you, we're gonna do our own tire again. You guys have to make all new molds. We're gonna go proprietary. Which one? 6.5, 6, or 5.5?
Okay, so here's where I'm at.
It's a 6.66 rim.
Oh my God, the Satan thing again.
Keaton, I'm gonna send you home. You need to go home, I think. Got 60 seconds.
What's your bet?
But here's what I think is gonna happen.
Woo!
They advertise more voltage.
Okay.
Okay, we've ridden the higher voltage boards on the standard hypercore motor.
Yes.
You get a lot of crunching, at least with the low Fokker, right?
That's true.
So I don't think that they're going to go too much smaller than 6 inches on the rim because I think they want to leave room for an upgraded motor, AKA a 6-inch stator like the Superflux.
You think they're gonna upgrade the whole motor?
I think it's possible. I think it would be an awesome move to upgrade the motor because here's the deal. They don't have the most powerful motor out there right now. There's 2 aftermarket motors that are more powerful. You can't have that when you've got your factory team gonna be running these boards all season.
how are
You
they gonna
need
win?
something that's gonna keep up, right?
So that's true, but they don't admit the existence of other boards. When they say this is the highest voltage board, they mean among other one wheels, and there is no other board.
Yeah, but I think they're starting to accept that there are other boards out there right now. I mean, you've got the factory team out there competing. It's going to be a lot more of a level playing field this year. I think some of the races won't be necessarily separating out VESC and non-VESC. I think everyone's going to start getting thrown into the same pot, racing whatever board's the fastest, and we're going to see where it shakes out. So I think they're going to do something pretty ballsy here potentially.
Wow.
We'll see.
Okay, I'm not as optimistic. I think this is going to be just like the GT was like 30% more torque, you know, a little bit bigger battery. I think they're going to do 30% more.
Here's a question for you. Do you think that all the current GT accessories are going to be able to fit on the GTS Series?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the same rails, probably anodized.
We got time.
9:45. What do we do?
Look, we got time.
All right, Jeff, take my bet.
We got time. Oh, yeah, Chris.
So-
Chris has a bet for me. He wants to put money on it, and he knows I'm an extreme gambling addict, so this is perfect.
$10.
$10, make it 20.
$20. All right. $20.
Doubled him down.
I am taking the side that is going to be what Robert says, smaller or less range.
Yep,
It's
more
gonna
voltage,
be
less range. Yep.
under the current price point for GT. They are going under.
Wow.
No.
You're taking the under?
No.
I'll take the over. All right, there you go. You guys saw it. You're witnesses.
1900.
20 bucks.
50. Maybe.
Okay, but does anyone else think?
Put it on
Does
the line
anyone
right
else
here.
think that
Boom.
yesterday's
20
leak
bucks.
was a red herring, and what they're actually going to unleash is their lawyers?
What happened?
4K almost does.
Oh my god! Because if it's they bait and switched us. They bait and switched us. They said 9:45.
Just like always. Classic ORL.
Yeah. Well, at least we're here now. Now you guys don't.
Now
have
we
to
have
work
more
for an extra
time to
50.
speculate.
It's gonna be an e-bike. Stop worrying.
An e-bike? What if?
Why
no.
did they keep using the chain emoji on the comments? It's gonna be an e-bike.
The S is for second wheel. Whoa! Guys, it's the dose wheel.
You know what's kind of funny is there actually was some talk a few years back about doing an e-bike because with the tech that they have, and this was back when like Sammy worked for him, right? He was saying they could build a bike easily that you press a button and it just full on pops a wheelie and balances a wheelie for you just out of nowhere. Just like pop,
I
pop,
just
the
remember them
wheelie
being
button.
like, we called it future motion for a reason so we could get into other avenues. And then I was like, ah, man.
Well, it's a good point. I mean, they've got this patent for some weird looking scooter.
Yeah.
You know, they got that. They got a patent for a skateboard with like the motion sensitive controls or whatever.
With a foot patch sensor.
Yeah, which I don't know how well that would work, but it is what it is.
It's gonna be the Yeti.
The good news is
It's
no
gonna
one
be
else
the
can do
Yeti
it now
board.
because they got the patent for it. So they could anodize the rails, or they could just mask them off before they powder coat them. But I don't think they're gonna do
so
that.
Great.
Yeah.
It's
The
a
anodizing
great
does
look.
look better than the.
And when you come out with an S series, you want to have like a little bit of a pop to it, you know, a little visual cue that I've got the S board because it's got the shiny anodized.
Yeah, that is true. It is
They're
true.
going to go back to blue.
Oh, maybe they bring back the OG blue.
What if they brought back the OG blue is a really nice color.
They did it for the trophies this year. At Race for the Rail, they did them blue, the same color the old rails used to be.
was that
I
a
think
teaser?
they're going back to blue.
That was my theory yesterday.
Oh, that's very possible. Well, here's the question. Do you think that the rails are still rounded on the outside, or you think they're going to flatten them up?
No, I think they keep that same thing. They keep
Yeah.
their same accessories. It's the GTS. I mean, think about the Pint. The Pint X, they kept everything the same that they possibly could. It's the same board.
They did have to change a couple of things, but not that many. You can still fit a Pint front bumper on a Pint X.
But I don't think they're going to make it even bigger battery, so they don't need to change the rails.
You don't think they're going to increase the battery size?
No, they can't. No, it's going to go smaller.
Smaller?
Well, here's the thing. You don't want to kill the GT yet.
No.
It's only been out for a year.
No.
So why would you buy the GT? Is it because it's so much cheaper?
It's because
No,
it's
still
cheaper.
expensive.
It's $500 cheaper. What if it was $500
Whoa,
cheaper?
whoa. You think they're
No,
gonna go
probably
that much
300.
more?
Probably 300. I don't see them going more than $2,500 on it.
I think it's going to be within $100 of the GT.
This is some wild speculation.
It's going to be
on.
within $100, if not the same price. I think they make the pack smaller to save money.
Yep.
Then they do a couple other little upgrades, and now they have a nice distinguishing look. We have our race board, optimized for speed and performance. It's not going to have the range.
If you price it the exact same as the other board, people are going to have an absolute crisis meltdown when going to buy their boards. I don't know. Do I want range or do I want power? Why are you making me decide on? If you put a monetary differentiator in it, it's so much easier for people to decide.
And then how much? But it has to be a big differentiator then, right?
Not necessarily. I mean,
It couldn't be $50 more though. It's got to be like.
It can't be $50 more. It's
So
got to
they
be
drop the
300.
GT.
200 to 300.
It's got to be 300.
Maybe they drop the
Because what's
GT?
GT? 2200?
22.
2200?
So maybe they drop.
I should know by now. We bought 20 of them.
They come in at 24 for the
Have we
S.
really bought 20?
Dude, we bought so many.
Oh my God.
I don't know if we bought 20, but we bought.
I probably bought
so
5
many.
personally just because they keep breaking.
It's just.
They do.
That's the badger
Oh, the
way.
battery doesn't work. I guess we're gonna buy
Just buy a new one, yeah. What are you gonna send it in? Nah, just buy a new one. Wait, they come with chargers? Oh, I just buy a new one whenever the battery runs out, right?
Legus, what do you think?
Hey, look who showed up.
It better be.
What if it's
It
It better be.
It's gonna
sweet.
be great, right? It's gotta be better than the GT. It has to be.
hey,
It's gonna be.
Well, I assume different. I assume it's gonna be different than the GT a little bit, like a
what if it's now that they have like a team? What if it's called the GT sponsor board?
GT sponsor.
No, the S is for sucks.
Let's just. Okay.
Wow.
You know what? I'm way too stressed
Shots
out. I need a
fired.
beer.
The S is for stress.
Bro, you're having a beer right now? It's not. They haven't even gone on yet. It's not even 10 a.m. yet.
Okay, but what do we think about the rim? Jeff, you didn't weigh in yet.
5-inch.
6.5, 6, or 5.5?
Are those our only choices? Is 6.5, 6?
It's not going to be
5.5?
5.75. It's going to be either a smaller proprietary size, back to the 6-inch, or stick to your guns and stay on 6.5.
It's going to be a 6-inch. It's gonna be a 6-inch rim.
The S is
It
for
has to be.
6.
No, it has to be a 6-inch rim.
The S is
Dude,
for 6.
It has to be a 6-inch. What does that mean? Is it a 6-inch?
For 6.
It means
Chris,
6.5.
No. So check it out. Look, the last time that I met and you're gonna bleep that name and throw a censor bar over my mouth when I say it. Hammered him for like an hour about that rim. He gets it. They're changing that rim back to a 6.
You know what my speculation is before this starts?
Here's an interesting fact.
That if you're new to the channel, you're probably not subscribed, and you should subscribe to the channel.
Oh my God,
You have to do that.
Do all the YouTube stuff. We still have 1 minute till this premieres. That's the perfect amount of time to go to the channel and click the subscribe button. We're almost at 40,000 subscribers. That's pretty crazy. Thank you all that are subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, how dare you? First off. And second, just go subscribe, and then I won't be upset with you anymore. We'll be friends. It's cool.
Here we go. Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. So far, we haven't seen a board yet. They're really teasing us on this one. Okay, it's got a treaded tire on it.
Howdy, folks, and
Oh,
welcome
they're just
to
gonna tease
Unleashed.
us like that, huh? The first performance. The GT wasn't performance focused?
It's supposed to be. Oh, Grand Touring.
We haven't seen the rails yet. Okay, I see black.
It's a blue.
Does it have rail guards on it?
Yep.
Okay, well, straight rails, we know that. We know that it's straight rails.
It looks like a magic. It looks a little short. You know, he's on a hamster.
No, it's the same size.
Yeah, it looks the same size.
I mean, so far it looks like all the GT stuff's gonna fit on it. It looks like the same form factor as the GT.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, it looks like so far he's upgraded internals. Have you guys seen the rim doesn't look any different, right?
No, it looks exactly the same.
The same board.
That looks like a 6.5-inch rim to me, boys. That looks like a big old rim.
Totally does.
Yeah, it's got the performance tire on it.
Look at climb hills like a vest, guys.
Look at that. I did say they're going to stick with 6.5 so they can use their performance tires though.
Yeah. I mean, this video's great so far.
Yeah.
The production value is off the chart.
Yeah, great.
Looks like they got a different back foot pad.
Yeah, that's why they were in San Francisco the other day. We filmed those shots. That was a Bodie shot.
Yeah.
This is the Game of Thrones song?
Oh, it's got an S on it. That's a 6.5.
Yeah, that's 6.5. The bumpers look the same though, yeah?
Please stop.
Show us the internals if that's the only difference.
Oh, flat.
It's flat. Well, yeah. It probably, you think it comes stock?
Introducing the all-new ONEWHEEL GT-S Series. The core of the S Series powertrain architecture is moving to a significantly higher voltage. From XR to GT, we went from 63 to 75 volts, a 19%
84?
increase.
84?
And from GT to S Series,
84?
we made an even bigger leap.
84?
Over
There we go.
50% more voltage. A
Whoa!
13-volt drivetrain that
Oh!
efficiency from the higher voltage.
How about
What
that?
does this get you? Significantly more torque, headroom, and speed. This is the most important thing, and what makes this a product that any rider can benefit from.
What do you think, Robert?
That was my initial guess.
That was his initial guess that he talked about.
High voltage, and everyone was like, no. That's
I agreed with you.
I should have stuck to my guns, man.
To do this, we moved to the next generation ultra-high power Molicell P45V battery cells.
P45s.
Oh, we've
What
been rocking those for a
configuration?
while now.
This means we had to totally redesign the battery management system and power electronics to handle the higher voltage.
There you go, new controller, new BMS. There you go, Robert. You don't want the haptic buzz at 20 when you're cruising around town, which is like the perfect cruising speed is like 20, 21, 22. You don't want it? Just buy the new board, and you won't have to experience it anymore.
That's right.
Genius. Oh, and also if you've got an older board, an XR, you've got any of that, don't worry about it because you'll just upgrade.
They had it for a while.
Yeah, last year.
The bearings are ultra premium NSK imported from Japan for ultra low load.
So they're back to the original bearings they were using back on the P1.
Efficiency and using even higher grade of neodymium magnets for higher performance.
Higher grade, you think they went in 48s? I'll bet you they went in 48s.
For at least a few more miles per hour. The tire is the GT Performance Treaded, which has quickly become a favorite of both trail riders and on-road enthusiasts. Compared to the
So
stock
fast.
GT tires,
The
it has
favorite,
a
he said it.
profile,
Quickly.
more compliant sidewall, and tread that gives enough grip without causing vibration. Today we're proud to introduce a new foot pad, the S Series Low Boy Foot Pad. Our engineers work to reduce the ride
Oh,
and
boy.
increase foot comfort.
Wow, they reduced the height of the foot
5
pad. That
millimeter
sounds like
lower
a
ride height.
push low.
Warm up. Well, the S Series actually shaves over 2 pounds off the weight of ONEWHEEL GT. For improved maneuverability.
So smaller battery. Smaller battery, yeah, less range. So it's gonna be less range. Yeah. It's for sure gonna be less range.
$20. Just means they have to promote their superchargers.
That thing has to be scary on nose.
Dude, it's gotta be so
Nose
scary doing nose slides with that tire burning it. It's gotta be over 40 miles an hour freewheel speed, right?
Easily, yeah.
It's gotta be. Yeah. I'm really curious how this thing's gonna operate on overheating because all their performance
with a higher
like,
voltage, the
they don't
charging
mention anything
system
about
is
they don't really
but the vast
overheat.
majority of other GT accessories are compatible.
Hey, there you go. Compatible accessories. How about that?
GTS Series is proudly assembled in the
It's
USA.
maybe. Michael Wool said it wasn't a 5 3/4 inch.
He was
trolling. You trickster.
The ONEWHEEL GT-S Series is available now at onewheel.com for $3,200.
$3,200. Let me get my money.
This is lighter.
Hey, pleasure doing business with you.
Oh my god.
$3,200.
I would open to more expensive.
$3,200. Like, I want to buy one so that we have one here to like play with and stuff. But $3,200 after tax and shipping.
That's how much I bought my first truck for.
That's over $3,500. That's $3,500 after
And
tax,
you
right?
get less range.
You get less batteries.
They didn't mention range at all, did they?
Yeah, not yet.
Let's show you that. I don't
think they're going to.
So-
because it's you don't want to advertise that range.
And their website's down, so I can't even check right
The
now.
S is for sizzling.
So a smaller battery, it could be a faster charge.
It will be a faster charge, I assume.
Psych.
Dude, their website's not even live.
So it
Go to
could
their
be like
website.
42s.
Did it say
I
available
had
now?
42. Yeah, I had a feeling they were going to use those cells.
Hey, they didn't say available now, and then the website's just this when you go to it. It's
Well,
just
you
the
gotta
video.
keep refreshing.
Yeah,
It'll
I'm
pop up
trying
in a
right now.
couple minutes.
Trying to see if it'll go.
Well, I can't get over the
There you go,
price.
guys. There's the ONEWHEEL S Series. Seems like it's significantly more powerful. With how many volts was that?
113 volts.
113 volts. This is the first over 100 volt ONEWHEEL build, right?
It is.
Are there any DIY Vesk over 100 volts? I don't think there are.
Not yet.
No,
If you
there
have
aren't.
one, put it in the comments.
So yeah, if you have one, write it down there. But yeah, that's pretty cool and exciting. That's great.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's such a high voltage because you don't really need voltage for most speeds, even up to 25 miles an hour.
Well, the voltage is for the super high end stuff.
It's for the super high
So it's for the
end.
people that want to push into 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Is what it's for. So
Agree with
Race
that.
for the Rail, if they continue to do the same style of course that they've
just
always
gonna-
historically done, well, not always historically done, has done since, let's see, North Star was kind of a single track trail, so that wasn't like wide open fire road, but like Utah.
It's,
So,
they're
like,
going for
since
speed.
Utah,
they all
it's
have at least one
wide open
straightaway
speed.
of like just full out.
Yeah, so if we might see people, I mean, look, without riding one and having no idea on the top end speed of this thing, it's possible that we might see top end speeds pushing 40 miles an hour at Race for the Rail this next year.
Bart Miller, we're looking at you.
I know, poor Bart. Every time they release a new model, he's like, "Oh, it's going to be worse this time."
Yeah. Dude, I feel the same way. When they ask me at Oak City, they're like, Jeff, what do you want to see in one-wheel racing future? I'm like, slow down. It's already too fast, man.
Yeah, like
Video though.
No haptic buzz?
I didn't hear it in the video. What's up with that?
Oh my gosh. Well,
I heard a beep.
it sounds like, look, if the beat is at 25, haptic buzz for the GT at least is the same exact speed as the beep, which is like 1920.
Look,
So
I think 25 miles an hour for pushback is what everyone's been wanting.
Yeah.
That's fine for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's fine for pretty much 95% of
For
even
most
racers.
people, it'll be fine, but check this out. You know how when you're riding off-road, smashing down a trail, and then you hit a downhill section that's gonna be sick and hit you even more speed, and you start going down that hill, and then all of a sudden you get pushed back partway down that hill,
Right.
and your tail starts to drag and you lose control. And the harder you try to push out of it, the faster you accelerate, and so you cannot get your tail off the ground.
Yep.
That's no longer happening at 19 to 20 miles an hour. That's happening now at 25, 26 miles an hour.
Yeah, no, for
Which
real.
is going to make it safer for the average rider. Even
For the
if you're
average rider,
if
it's
you're
way
not
better.
pushing it to 40, if you're not trying to
dude.
race on it.
I agree.
wanna
If you
race
can get up
trails.
to 25 miles an hour on that 6.5 rim, good for you.
Look, Luke Austin just did it in that video that they were
did it.
showing. He passed Jafari at a race for the rail he was doing at least 29 to 32 miles an hour that guy was doing down that ramp, passing Jafari. Speed wobbles like crazy, almost dying. But no, okay, well, anyway, just to wrap things up, I feel like this is cool. You know, I got nothing but good things to say about this. I think it seems like a great new board for the people that want it. It's a little more expensive than I thought it was going to be. But look, for the people that want that performance, they want the fastest possible board, and they don't want to deal with building their own vest. Right?
He also said the Dubs will work on it.
Apparently, we're getting confirmation now from some of the factory team that Dubs will work on it.
Sure, but stronger than a GT, even below 10% battery.
Less range, stronger than a GT, below 10% battery.
How much
So
range is left?
Well, you know, that's a great point. Even at low battery,
it's got some.
it has
Juice.
a
Yeah.
little
you
bit
can
more
ride it
juice,
to
and I
extra.
think that's an important safety thing. So
I don't know.
yeah.
We should we go order one? I feel like we should order one, right?
Still not live yet, but yeah.
30. I know 32. Well, don't forget we also have to pay tax and shipping.
I'll pitch
Well, it might be free
pack is
shipping. It might be.
cheaper.
shipping.
Oh,
I
Brandon will
would've
pay for
thought
shipping.
Cheaper battery.
Yeah.
Cheaper battery, less cells. That's going to give them room to afford
Yep.
the little upgrades to everything else. Which, let's be honest, the controller is going to cost them a few dollars more to make.
They
This
have
is
to
a nice
upgrade.
profit item for them.
It looked to me like they upgraded the wire harness. Looked like an upgraded wire harness.
Sure.
I'm sure they've upgraded the motor plug. 100% they've upgraded the motor plug.
I mean, these are upfront costs for sure.
Yeah.
But
So
as
this is
far
a lot
as
of
the-
tooling and stuff like that. They don't
Their profit
Look,
margin is going up on this.
sitting in the boardroom with them and trying to sell this to them like we need to build a performance model, right? We need to build the best thing we can possibly build. And they're like, dude, we're not going to sell that many. You have to make it expensive. And we got to have great profit margins
gonna
on
sell
this
that
thing
many.
if we're going to make it, because it's not going to be like the GT or the XR or the Pint X, where it's like the average everyday person wants this. This is like the enthusiast car, right? So this is like the Ferrari model as opposed to like Toyota Prius. You know, it's like we're building a high performance thing. We need to make a lot of money per unit in order to actually make this make sense for us.
But
Well,
I do
it-
think that there's going to be a lot of people who gobble it up.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of money in the
There's
one-wheel
a
community
lot of
and
money.
people.
And there's a lot of people who
Yeah.
want
I
to be
know a
early
lot of-
adopters.
There'll be a lot of people that have never exceeded 20 miles an hour that will buy this board.
And they don't need to exceed. They won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even with this board, they just want the latest and greatest, and that's fine. Good for
Yeah.
them.
All the older guys in GCO right now are already like, I'm ready to buy. And then
Oh
Neil just said, I don't know the exact percentage of range difference, but he said maybe about 10% in my experience.
10%
That's
range
not that
difference?
bad.
That doesn't sound
But
right.
it's all usable. I don't push my GT under 30% battery. And then the GTS, I push all the way to
usable
0.
range might be almost the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who's going to be so happy with this is people who were worried that their GT was going to be a paperweight and they're going to have to sell it, and now it's like, oh, it's $3,200. Like I feel
Yep.
fine paying $2,200 for
and
a GT.
I have better range with my GT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, your GTs are not obsolete anymore, so that's great.
Yeah, because you don't want to cannibalize your existing product.
Of course not.
Take a road trip. Drive down there with 3,200 cash.
Right now?
Right now.
You know, I'm gonna go 3,500 cash just to be safe.
just go
Yeah.
pick it up, dude.
Look, Mandy, they've never let me in the front doors once in all these years. They always tell me to go to the coffee shop down the street. They're not gonna start now.
That's probably true.
So anyway, that's it. That's the GT-S Series by One Wheel. Seems cool. Higher voltage, a little bit lower range, top performance. Looks like it's going to be a really fun race board. Fun to rip on the trails. Still plenty of room to upgrade with a lot of aftermarket stuff. You could still throw dubs on it, it sounds like.
5-inch hub.
Bumpers are the exact same. As Robert said, you could still throw a 5-inch hub on there. So now you've got all the power. And you've still got that nice squish going down those chunky trail sections. So yeah, it might even be better balanced if they have a smaller pack it could be better balanced. I hear it's about 2 pounds lighter than the GT. So overall, it sounds like a better board. It's a better board than the GT if that's what you're looking for, is more power. You don't really care about range quite as much, and you want something that's going to shred off road. So there you go. Go get yourself a GT-S, and if you've got money, or go work a bunch of overtime because it's a lot more expensive. But there you go. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stick around. We're going to order one today, I guess, and then we'll test it as soon as it gets here. And if you can order them now, which they said, it should be here by early next week. We should have it just shortly after the weekend. So that's it. Everyone, thank Julian behind the camera for sitting around and holding the camera. Round of applause for Julian, everyone. Good job.
He's back.
He's back. He left us for like a month, but he's finally back. So
We missed him so much.
Thanks, guys. See you around. Float on, my friends.
Float off.
Yeah, it was wild that we